You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Well, let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done for professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Monday, and it is the 7th day of May, 2018. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you spent some quality time with the family. I saw you in church on Sunday. It's always good to see you. Thanks for being there, and thanks for being here. Whoever you are, wherever you are, it's always a privilege and an honor to see you in our audience. And it has been for the past 13 years. That's right. We are in our second decade of broadcast history, and it just keeps getting better. Amen? All right. We're going to move quickly. If you can't see the screen, you won't see the charts that are about to appear. So go to our homepage at cfrn.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered through the end of the month. You only register once per month, and that gives you one-click access every single day. The discussion, the charts, and the chat box. Okay? Now, we have redundancy. In case something fails, you can go to youtube.com/CFRN/live. You'll catch the exact live stream right there. And what's really cool about the YouTube destination, if you've missed, say, the first 15 minutes of the show, you can just back it up like a VCR. You'll be 15 minutes behind the live broadcast, but you'll get the whole broadcast. Of course, after each show, we then convert it into a podcast, and we've done that every day, every trading day, for the last 13 years. Go on the internet and say, when do people start doing podcasts? You'll be surprised. So, we got to move quick because Michael's got some appointments and we're going to bring him in right away. I'll be back with all the numbers. We'll look at the charts. We'll look at the alerts. All that good stuff and more when I come back. Morning,
Okay,
Michael.
thanks. Good morning, Dwayne. Yeah, I hate that everybody's getting here all at once, and there's two guys here right now, and
No worries. No worries.
just gotta
Did you see my new screen image?
I did the spinning.
Oh no, well the
Screen.
one the one of New York City.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
You know, I've been getting kind of lonely in the office, so I've been thinking about going downtown, and I thought, why commute when I can just pretend I'm there? I have a great imagination.
There you go.
My wife says
There you
I should charge admission,
Imagination.
but okay. All right. Michael is going to go through everything that happened in the live training room today. When he's done, I'll be right back. What are we looking at? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20?
Probably 5.
Okay.
5.
Fair enough. I'll be here.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Monday, the 7th day of May, 2018. Today. Well, first of all, let's start off here. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at cfrn.net. Right up here at the very top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trial. User indicators learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you're brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, how you found us. Hit the submit button. Once you hit that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the trial. So make sure you hit that link. Okay. Now, results for today. As I said, today is the 7th day of May, 2018. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you can read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, the euro kind of stuck us. We were minus 16 on the euro. It was a really slow day. It was a no news day. Really slow, kind of sideways action most of the morning. Not a lot of trade setups to be had. Okay. But we ended up with 4 ticks on crude, 6 ticks on gold, and 4 ticks on the ES. We did get the gold for the day, and then we gave a little bit of it back, but we still remain positive, so that makes it a green day. Today it took 77 minutes and 5 trades to get to $100 a contract, and we took a total of 8 trades. So on the month now, we're up 1,050. That's over 5 days, averaging 210 per day. And on the year, we're up 14,701. That's over 84 days, averaging 175 per day. Okay? Okay. Okay, let's get into what happened. And here on gold, in the pre-market on gold, there was some nice movement, tradable movement. But once we finally got in, our first trade here on gold, let's see, we got +1 there. We had a break even there and +5 there. So this +5 is what gave us the goal for the day. We missed a trade there. And during the break, looks like there was a shorting opportunity right here. Okay, and that was it. The euro, as I said, the euro kind of stuck us. We stopped out twice on the euro. And both of those stop outs kept going in the opposite direction. The euro just wasn't cooperating today. And that was it on the euro. Crude oil. And wait for crude to expand here. Okay, I'll click it again. There we go. On crude today, we had just a couple of trade opportunities. I can't see what that number is. Oh, okay. And I can't answer that. On this first one, we had a break even on the crude. Then we had a +2 right there. And there was another +2 in here somewhere. I don't know where it was. It was probably right up here. Or maybe it was here. But we ended up with +4 on crude. Okay. Yeah, we had 3 trade setups. Break even, +2, and +2. Anyway, we ended up with a +4 on crude. I don't know where that second trade setup was, but I can go look it up later. On the ES, we had just the one right here. We've got 4 ticks. On this one right here, we missed it. This one right here, we didn't take this because it was going up into the zone. It was too close to the zone, so we let that go. We missed that. We got 4 ticks there. During the break, there was a bounce off the BBC right here, but you're not really trending, so I would have left that alone. Okay, and that was it for the morning. So again, on the spreadsheet, as I said, today's the 7th day of May 2018. We lost 16 ticks on the euro, made 4 on crude, made 6 on gold, and made 4 on the ES. For a gross total of plus 50. It took us 77 minutes and 5 trades to get to $100 a contract, and we took a total of 8 trades. So on the month now, we're up 1,050. That's over 5 days, averaging $210 per day. On the year, we're up 14,701. That's over 84 days, averaging $175 per day. Okay. Now, again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Right in here, guys, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the home page at cfrn.net. Up here at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Training Room, 100% free trial. User educators learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. On this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know you took the free trial. All right. Benjamin. Okay, I'll get back to him. All right, that's it, guys. With that, we're going to wrap it up and send it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, looking south Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready, you can take it back. Dwayne is not ready. Okay, that Keurig machine.
I'm ready. I was just messing with you.
Okay. All right, so we just had to bounce off the BBC right here on the gold, as I just said. But yeah, you can have the charts back now.
All right, recap of the recap.
Today it took 77 minutes and 5 trades to get to $100 per contract. 77 minutes and 5 trades.
Okie doke. All right, let's spread that out so we can. So you're taking off right this minute? Okay.
Yeah.
I know you got to.
Go.
I understand, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Okay, John will be joining us here shortly, and we're going to move rather briskly today. But there's some news out that we need to talk about. Some things we need to look at. How many of you? Anybody own Starbucks? Nestle. Yes, Nestle, the chocolate milk you drank as a child. Remember, it came in the powder, came in the can, it was a little can, and you put 2 tablespoons in your milk, stirred it up. It's a chocolatey delight. My wife won't let my kids have it. It's got sugar. All right, let us take a look at the numbers around the world. But anyway, Nestle's paying $7.1 billion to Starbucks. Just write them a check for the right to sell Starbucks coffee everywhere outside of a Starbucks coffee shop, grocery stores, etc. The drink market has become fragmented, they say, and that's the reason these 2 behemoths are joining forces to try to unfragment it. I wanted to take a look and just see how Starbucks is doing today. I'll share that chart with you. Okay, this is an hourly chart. Let's go to daily and see if we got a pop on that news. I think the news came out over the weekend. Okay, this is a daily chart. Let's pull in some more data. Here we go. Okay. So that's daily. So we've got obviously good resistance up here at this $60 price tag. We hit it back on March 13th and again April 13th, the 17th. Looks like a real nice window of opportunity for you stock traders from 59. I'm sorry, from 59. Once we close up above these lows here, the window of opportunity would probably take you from play it safe, 60, 50 up to, no, I'm sorry, 59 quarter. Yeah, 59 quarter up to 60, 75 cents. I know it's only 75 cents, but It's what stock traders do. So, not knocking stock traders, used to be one. However, when I found futures, it took away all the negative aspects of stock trading. So I'm trying to wrap my brain back around it again for the benefit of those who follow us and come to the radio show every day and are interested in trading stocks. And so I want to be able to assist you as well. You know, for all these years we've concentrated strictly on futures. So I was so excited to find out about futures. I didn't know what they were. Didn't know. My first introduction to futures was Larry Williams back in 1997. I got a random postcard. It said, "How to Rob Banks Legally." Ooh. So I read the little card, I sent in my checky poo or called with my credit card, and I got these VHS videotapes. And I could not stay awake through even the first one. It was, I'm being honest, I tried 4 or 5 times to watch the first in the series explaining about futures, and I couldn't do it. So I put it on the back shelf until 2005. Then I really got an education quickly about what not to do. And then after a while learned maybe what I should do. Now, let's look at the numbers around the world as we do every day. These are the cash markets. We'll get to the futures in a moment. Currently, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 194 points on the session. That's almost 1%. The NASDAQ is up 70. That's almost 1%. S&P 500 is up 16. That's a little over half of 1%. Russell 2000 is up 16 points. And that's a little over 1%. In the commodity basket, crude oil up 94 cents, trading 70.66 last. We're going to see higher crude prices are on the way. We'll take a look later in the show at a larger time frame. And gold down 29 cents, trading 13.1440 last. In the Asian markets today, the Nikkei at the close was down just 5.5 points. Shanghai, on the other hand, added 45 points, which for the Shanghai, that's an increase of almost 1.5%. The Hang Seng added 67 points, which is literally nothing for the Hang Seng. And then in the European markets today, the FTSE closed up 64 points, almost 1%. The DAX closed up 128 points, exactly 1%. Now that's twice in 2 weeks that it hit 1% right on the nose. And the CAC, green as well, up 15 points. And those are the numbers. So we've got a green day in the US of A, a green day in Europe, and in Asia, the only ungreen would be the Nikkei, down 5.5 points. All right. Now, got some crypto news. You know I've got this ongoing love affair with Jamie Dimon. But they're eating a little humble pie as they apply for their blockchain patent. Remember the guy who stood out on the street and screamed, as all the reporters gathered, and screamed, "Bitcoin's a fraud." And the reporters were listening, had their mics out, everybody was snapping pictures, the videotapes were rolling. And guess what? When Jamie Dimon speaks, there's not a lot of difference between him and Willie Sutton, if you know who he is. But anyway, he's on the street talking to the reporters, calling Bitcoin a fraud, saying he would fire any of his employees if they ever bought that stupid thing. But you know what? His traders were buying the dip that he created with his voice and his words, standing on the street. Unbelievable. Now, we reported on that the following day after it happened. We've been talking about it since. Now, this patent titled Systems and Methods for the Application of Distributed Ledgers for Network Payments as Financial Exchange, Settlement, and Reconciliation. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office published J.P. Morgan Chase Bank's formal application to patent what amounts to a variation on blockchain technology. J.P. Morgan Chase is the biggest bank in the United States. They have paid more in fines, literally billions a year, hundreds of millions anyway, year after year after year. For Jamie Dimon, that's just part of the cost of doing business. He'd rather break the rules and say, oh, I'm sorry, here's a check. He would much rather do that than to just play by the rules. Yeah, and it ranks as the world's second largest bank by market cap. Its head, Jamie Dimon, has gone after the phenomenon of cryptocurrencies quite publicly over the years. His rhetoric seemed to ramp up in direct relation to the then skyrocketing price of Bitcoin. Back in 2017, JP Morgan executive Jamie Dimon is downplaying Bitcoin again, and this time calling the decentralized currency a fraud. Dimon told a CNBC broadcast that Bitcoin markets would blow up and he would fire anyone from his team if they traded Bitcoin. It's worse than tulip bulbs. It won't end well, said Dimon to the world. And Bitcoin took a big dip. Not too much longer after Mr. Dimon would not shut up about Bitcoin, as the bank executive called Bitcoin investors stupid, and someday they will pay the price. If that wasn't enough, the bank was rumored to be considering Bitcoin futures. This year's turn, however, began when Mr. Dimon walked back some of those statements. Indeed, its annual report openly feared crypto would be a hugely disruptive force going forward, and perhaps for good. Such recent statements appeared to signal a shift in JP Morgan attitudes. I published an article, it's probably a month ago, Can Crypto Heal Our Broken Land? It talks about the Fed, among other things, and banks. A peer-to-peer network system would make banks kind of a fifth wheel. We won't need them unless they can reinvent themselves. Think of it this way. You and I are sitting on a park bench, and I have an apple. I have one apple. It's all I have. And I give it to you. I say, hey, you want this apple? You say, yeah, sure. I put it into your hand. It's physical. You feel it. You touch it. You hold it. Now, you own the apple. I no longer own the apple. I have no control over the apple. It's obviously your apple. Now, we did not need a third party to verify that I gave you the apple, because you know I gave you the apple. We didn't need a bank. We didn't need a Visa. We didn't need a MasterCard. We didn't need a PayPal. It was a peer-to-peer transaction. Now, when those apples become digital apples, it does get a little more complicated. We had a fantastic webinar last night. If you missed it, you can watch a recording at emini.cfrn.net. emini.cfrn.net. Here we go, right here. Crypto webinar. Did I ever put, I think I put the video up. Today's crypto webinar recording. Yeah, right here. And there's some good stuff in here. You might want to read that as well. But the webinar, I think it went very well. How to buy, sell, hold, trade, and invest in cryptocurrency. So by all means, please take a look at that. Now, now, if that wasn't enough, going back to Jamie Dimon, the bank, in its annual report, openly feared and walked back some of the statements, and because they realized that if the world goes to this type of a system, he could potentially be out of a job. But Jamie Dimon will never be out of a job, because he will adapt to whatever the current economy situation and regulations require, and he'll find a way to cheat, but he'll reinvent. Now, the best evidence came this past week as the Patent Office detailed systems and methods for the application of distributed ledgers. That's a lot, yeah. It might be that the bank is attempting to cut in on the money wiring services industry across the globe. The market for remittances is many billions of dollars annually. Just how a blockchain, in the way commonly understood regarding the technology, would assist in cross-border transactions without a proprietary coin affiliated is not immediately clear as of this writing. What is clear is that JP Morgan and Mr. Diamond are sharing large slices of the humble pie as news of the patent application spreads. I'd love to know your comments on JP Morgan Chase and Jamie Dimon and what's happening in this industry. We talked about that in the webinar last night. It was to be an hour. You know us, ran an hour and a half. And if you watch the video, you'll find out that we have a class starting this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So let's move on. Got one more bit of crypto news I want to share with you. All right, and we're going to take a look at a chart of Bitcoin. 10,000, no surprise, turned out to be a good resistance. One thing you have to keep in mind is that when you're looking at cryptocurrencies, because there are so many different exchanges, and I think that will probably change over time, but where you do business, something's not right with this Bitcoin chart. Hang on. The daily chart, that doesn't look right either. Okay, let's go BTC Euro. That's not the best I got. Oh, here we go. Well, no, we don't want to go there. I looked up, well, let me try this one more time. Let me try the Coinbase exchange, see if that works. That looks pretty sketchy as well. Could be my data feed. I'll show you. We all know this doesn't look proper. Yeah, something's wrong with the feed on that. While I'm dragging stuff over there, those of you that want to take a screenshot of last night's Concierge Trade Alerts, by all means do so. There they are. Yes, that does say Monday 1:20 a.m. I always try to get them out on Sunday nights by 6:30 because the market's open at 6 for Globex trading, and I had so much work piled up. 1:20 a.m. Now, in other big news today, you know, I think I'll wait until John comes on and talk about that, see what his take is on what's happening in the White House. Let's you and I take a look real quick. Let me open the chat box. I know Michael had it open, but let me open it and see. Can you post that info on Chase Diamond to the Google page? Oh yeah, sure, be happy to. Just go back. I'll copy the link. I'll put it in here, and then I'll also post it over there. Get back to the page. It's right here. Now, if anybody has any questions about anything, whatever it may be, type it into the chat box, and be happy to address it. If there's any special market you want to look at, we'll look at them all through the course of the show, but if there's something particular that you want to look at, let me know. Okay, here we go into the chat box. And I'll hit send to all. That's the news piece I was just reading on Jamie Dimon and his fine institution. And now he wants me, what do they want? Don't show again. Okay. There we go. And I will post it to the Emini Google Plus page later. But you've all got the link now. Okay. Everybody got the screenshot? We're going to talk about the White House as John comes on. Let me check and see if he's in yet. Yes, he is. John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. How you doing?
Very good. Yourself?
Not too bad, thanks. The S&P is looking very bullish there on the chart.
Yeah.
We've been basically long since this low last week, and in and out a few times, but with a positive bias. Actually put out a buy on this last pullback a while ago, and it does look as if we're going to break out to the upside and continue higher. By the way, Apple is about $50 billion away from being a $1 trillion company right now, and the gold and silver. We actually don't do this very often, but went long all the metals on Friday and sold them during the night right at the highs. They pulled back a bit. We called a bit of a pullback this morning. We bought them on the pullback. The gold stocks are acting quite well, and it could mean, if the golds push a bit higher here, it could mean we're probably going to rally for the rest of the week in the metals. I'd say, somebody sent me some probably knowledgeable guy sent me some sort of a tweet a while back, a week ago, said, 1295 is guaranteed kind of thing. Nothing's guaranteed in life, but the fact that they couldn't break 1300 once again is a very positive thing for the gold. And look at the silver. The silver is actually up on the day. The gold's slightly negative right now, but platinum has been going higher. Palladium has been acting very bullish. Palladium looks to me like it's. If you remember, we pointed out this huge monthly 3-month head and shoulders bottom on the palladium. It shot up last night, and it consolidated really here. It looks highly likely we're going to break out to the upside, possibly get back over 1,000, and platinum could potentially also, the lows could be in on the platinum. If we start extending the rally here in the silver and gold, it could actually turn into a kind of an unstoppable up move, probably ahead of this Iranian deal. We're already at $70 oil, and I think that it doesn't help Iran to be threatening Trump, that he's going to have all kinds of regrets.
Well, they're threatening to rain missiles down on
where?
Israel.
Yeah, bring it on, bring it on. Let's finish it off once and for all, because they're just tired of all this nonsense, death to America and death to Israel and all this.
How can you give money to somebody that's like the bully on the school playground that takes your lunch money,
Yeah. No, look, these are the biggest rogues on the face of the earth, and there's a quantum of evil
and
on
they do it in the name
still.
of God,
Yeah, and it's the cabal that's going on. I mean, look, you don't have to hear it from me. I'm just a messenger, but just like you and I are. But you just have to listen to the former assistant deputy head of the FBI, Kallstrom, and Joe DeGeneva, and this judge that just called the Mueller thing out. The whole thing. I said it. Look, I said it the day it happened. I said it's a stitch job, be it by Comey and Mueller. Mueller didn't get the job when he went to interview with the Trump. They put this thing together the next day. The three of them, I don't even want to say it. Listen to somebody else say where they should be. This whole thing is just an absolute outrage. It's so bizarre. It's to think that this is going on in America today. The bastion of freedom and democracy, and to have this rottenness going on in the government. In the shadow government, trying to create a coup with a duly elected president. It's an absolute abomination, and it's a disgrace. And thank God we're doing as well as we are, and we'll continue to do so. But we fix North Korea, which I believe we probably will, And then we have, a couple of menaces around the world that have to be, muted. Russia being one of them, and Iran definitely the number one felon in the world. They've got to be dealt with once and for all. And the world's going to be a much better place when it's over. And listen, I'm sure if you speak to most of the Iranians in California, they probably agree with what I'm saying. So they want their country to be a decent country as well, not under the rule of a bunch of mullahs.
Right. Yeah. Well, everybody wants freedom.
Yeah.
The Iranian. The Ayatollah.
Listen. Did you hear the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince is actually saying that they can build churches in Saudi Arabia and mosques? Give me a break. Who'd have ever thought you'd hear that in our lifetime? And then there's one rogue nation out there that's not coming around, and that's these damn mullahs have got this nation under the thumb, and it's going from bad to worse. The Iranian currency.
They're out of money.
They gave them 150 billion. It wasn't even a blip on the radar in the Iranian currency, which has been going down ever since. What does that tell you about the country? It's going to the dogs.
Well, they're broke, but in essence, so are we. But we have good credit, I guess.
There's some argument out there. There's a fellow called Mike Norman. You want to Google him and listen to what he says about the debt. He doesn't.
Mike
Norman. He doesn't think.
Okay.
Yeah,
he's
a good guy. He's saying basically that in America's case, it's not a real debt. The 20 trillion. It's kind of an asset. So it's an interesting idea. And look at where we are today, in spite of it all. And look, if they're projecting 40 trillion by 2035 or something, or 2040, and Japan isn't exactly poverty stricken. It's the third largest economy on earth. If we're that badly off in 2040, I'd say bring it on. So we have created wealth in the last 8 years at an unprecedented pace, never seeing anything like it before. And if you go by the projections of 2050, and we're a 36 trillion economy by then, I don't think. I think the world will be a lot better off, and we probably won't have as much anything like the kind of poverty. And life's getting better all the time, and it's hard to beat where we are today in terms of 3.9% unemployment. Anybody, when just about anybody out there can get a job, it doesn't not necessarily the job they want, but if they can get a job and put food on the table, that's a great place to be. And I'm not this guy Chris Hughes, who's a former founder of Facebook, coming out with that universal income idea. It's not a bad idea. I think if we could, the Social Security is a huge safety net that doesn't exist in most of the current countries. Whatever it is, $1,200 a month or something, or $1,800 a month. But I think
I think it's less than that, but it depends on how much you paid in over the years as you work.
Yeah, right. But if you if everybody had $1,000 a month, just to get, to make sure they're not homeless or something, right, that would be a pretty good. I think that's something that we should aspire to, really. So especially if robots are going to take jobs in the future, they should. The robots can pay towards people having a better life, and it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt to do that.
Yeah. Have you looked at Bitcoin today?
No, I haven't. No.
It hit the I've got the chart up. It hit the $10,000 resistance area, which we expect it to be.
We said it was probably going to go there, but it's probably going to gap up through 10 still.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, if it rolls over, that's bad. We might go down and test the lows again. But given that it's been knocking at the door there for a while now, it's got a pretty good chance of just suddenly going up through it, and kind of like it did the last time. See that the last time it was under 10,000, it went up through it to 12.
Oh, right here. Mm-hmm.
No, previously. You see, yeah, we got the So it could be. It could be.
That was quite a bounce, and it created a lot of hope. And then we got that double top, and it took us.
Yeah, exactly. But look where it went. It went up to 12,000. So
yeah, no, it bounced nice.
I would say this one should test the 12,000. Might even go a bit higher. It could go up to 13 or 14. So I think it's going to have trouble. Oh, just go back to that thing you had a second ago there.
Sure. Here we go. That's the daily.
Yeah, you see that 13,000. That's kind of resistance where the previous bounce happened. See that?
Yep. You got tails down here, and
yeah, exactly. There. I think that's where it could get to. Right there. Yeah.
And what do you see happening then?
After that, it's probably going to come down again. Test it. Or it might stay in that range. The 10 to 13,000 range for a while. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that it's been basing out for so long here, and it's making a more reasonable advance.
I mean, look, it is sort of, it's in danger of breaking this most recent uptrend line. So keep that in mind, because if it does break down from here, then it's probably going to go down maybe to 4,000 or 5,000 after that. It could still be in for another one more big drop.
I think your guy. What's the guy's name? Asian fellow, the one that you said that you like his commentary.
Oh yeah.
I always forget his name.
Lee.
I think his target this year. I brought up
25,000. 25,000.
That's his target for this year. Okay, well, I'll take that. Sure will. So this Mike Norman guy.
No, it might be. No, his website's called.
I've got it. MikeNormanEconomics.blogspot.com.
I'm not sure if that's him. It might be another Mike Norman, but.
Okay. Well, I searched.
Oh no, MMT. That's him. MMT. That's him.
Yeah, and Twitter, puts his tweets up on the front page. So. Speaking of Twitter, people are continuing to ask me, please ask John to give you that crib sheet.
No, look, I had to go and do another project this weekend, and it took my time. So I will get it done in the next few days. So,
okay, if there's anything I can do to help, just let me know.
Yeah, sure.
Now, there's some other kind of turmoil going on at the White House, and there always is. I said I'd wait until you came on to even talk about that, because you probably know more about it. One industry has unfettered access to the White House, and they are making a killing. Did you hear that? Jamie Dimon, I read the article before you came on. JP Morgan Chase, his bank, has applied for a patent for blockchain technology. Now, he's the guy that stood on the street screaming, Bitcoin's a fraud. The National Association of Manufacturers has received unfettered access to the White House and congressional leaders since Republicans gained control of the federal government. Manufacturing in the U.S. is a priority for the Trump administration, and as a result, so are the industry's leading advocates in Washington. The Association of Manufacturers is quickly becoming a behemoth in the U.S. Capitol, receiving unfettered access to the White House and top lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Trump delivered an address at their annual conference. For decades, the policy of Washington, D.C. on the subject of manufacturing was a policy best summarized in one word: surrender, Trump said, and that's what they did. They surrendered. Now, also, how about this Rudy Giuliani thing? What happened with him? I thought he was a really incredibly smart guy. They keep saying he flubbed this interview, and I haven't caught a recording of it yet. Did you see it?
You mean, well, look,
the Stormy Daniels stuff. They're saying that he flubbed it so bad that what Giuliani did could bring Trump more trouble than what he did with Stormy Daniels before he was president.
I think it's all I think it's all overhyped. He might be a bit of a bull in a china shop, but I think he was probably trying to quell the federal election case and just say, look, this is normal stuff. I mean, look, a lot of these rich guys get targeted by all kinds of things, all kinds of people trying trying
shake
to
them down. Yeah.
sue for money. Exactly. Yeah. And so there's a pretty good precedent for that. And look, CNN just they're just obsessed with this stuff, and let them drone on about it because nobody really cares.
Well, Obama gave AM conservative talk radio much to talk about during his presidency, and Trump's doing the same thing for the progressive media.
If they want to, they talk about Trump morning, noon, and night, and
that's all they talk about.
It's and they just can't get over. They want to be bashing him every day, and you know what? If he just keeps doing the same as what he's doing, I mean, these numbers are going to get better. We cannot. We're doing as well as we are, and if we fix North Korea and these other problems in the world, and make peace with Russia,
does Russia want to make peace? I mean, is that...
Oh yeah, I really think they do. I really think they do.
A lot stuff they do.
It's a lot of blood. Look, it's Putin playing to his audience, to his base. And look, he got elected, and he's a very popular president. There's no getting away from it. It's a fact. I mean, they have Western companies polling Russia as well, and the results definitely put him up there, as one of the most popular leaders. And he's what's not to like? Oil is $70 a barrel. It's a lot better than 40 or 30, where in Russia today, the country's on the rebound, and it's only $1 trillion economy. It's 1/20th the size of the U.S. economy, and it's going to take them a long time to catch up. So I mean, I'm not saying that the Russians are very, very smart and extremely smart, especially in computing and mathematics and things like that. It's just a natural trait of the Russian people. But and they're very good at rockets. I mean, listen, these guys, they got when Germany was, at the end of World War II, half the German scientists went to Russia, and the other half went to, the rocket scientists, the German rocket scientists, half of them went to Russia, and the other half went to the U.S. And that's why the Russians had the early edge in rocket technology, and they've maintained it ever since. I mean, we're using Russian rockets today in the U.S. It's a pretty big business. Yeah. Elon Musk bought most of his rockets from Russia.
Did we talk about him melting down on the conference call?
I don't think he melted down at all.
Well, that's what the headlines say. I guess they're being dramatic.
Yeah, maybe he was having a bad day, and he doesn't suffer fools gladly. And he was, I mean, he's tactically a very smart guy, and he could be luring people into a short squeeze, and which he's alleging, and he's sort of baiting them, said don't get too short, or don't be careful, you might get burnt. That's a pretty strong sort of a language. I mean, one of these days it might backfire on him, but he's gone through quite a few skirmishes, and Facebook is up $9 today, so the shorts are getting hurt.
Now, do you understand this?
Sorry, Tesla's up $9. Sorry.
Well, that's a guy that came out, Elon Musk, on a number of occasions and told the public. I don't know. I'd never heard this before. He says, "I think our stock price is, it's a little too high."
Yeah, no, that's another sort of reverse psychology thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well played. Well played.
Yeah. By the way, the Russell, which I looked at that earlier on, and I figured this Russell is really looking strong today, which it is.
Okay, do small caps follow large caps, in your opinion, or do large caps follow small caps?
Well, look, the whole thing. Look, the Russell is a big beneficiary of the tax cuts. I think that's one of the reasons why it's acting so well. And the fact that the Russell is so strong at this stage in the game, and the mid cap as well, is pretty bullish for stocks. Pretty bullish. Now, we're coming off, in spite of what I said earlier on about the S&P, we did actually have a sell up near the high. We put it out a short while ago, and the NASDAQ as well. If, there's a few things out there that could knock the market down here, even later today. It's one of these up in the morning, down in the afternoon things. I mean, we were up nearly 200 points on the Dow. We're only up 127 now. So you do have to be careful on days like this. Now, if we find a low later on today and go back up, that would be definitely more constructive. But remember, we've had a few Tuesdays recently that haven't worked out too well. And there is a bit of a risk.
Was a disaster.
Right, and there is a bit of a risk that this whole, it is a sort of a three-wave rally that came out of last week. We're definitely upper range of it, so there's some risk of it going wrong. Listen, I better say goodbye. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, John. Take care.
All right.
All right. All right. I told John we had to keep it short today, and so he didn't have to cut it. Well, I told him we need to be out of here by 1, but we're not going to run off just yet because we need to go through the rest of these numbers and go to our good word for the day, answer any questions that you have in the audience. Normally the show runs a full 2 hours, but I got some things I got to do, and that's the only way to get them done. Let's go back to the S&P for a moment. The S&P, we had told the Concierge Trade Alert clients to consider buying 26.89 if we rallied, and if we did not rally, to consider selling 26.55. At this stage of the game, this is really very quiet. This is very low volatility compared to what we've seen. Well, look at Friday. Very quiet compared to what we've grown used to over the last few months, I guess it's been. But I don't think, and the zones are so wide this week, uncommonly so, but they are what they are. So we'll see if they get tagged or not. Now, we discussed that it's confusing for some people when they come on the show and they see last week's trading zones on the chart. The partners, of course, get the zones every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, and then on Thursday I share them with the audience at large. Of course, as we know, last week's zones have carryover power. As you can see, we topped out right there. We've been, these are 30-minute candles. There's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3.5 hours. We've been consolidating at the zone, and that's what we anticipate to happen. As we break through, come back, confirm good support, make a run at the next zone, can't quite get to it, come back, again, good support, right up to the zone, back down to the zone, back up to the zone, back down to the zone, back up to the zone. Now, what is that worth when you go from zone to zone on this particular zone? From 69 to 76, that would be 7 S&P points. Yeah, okay. 9 and 7, 16. Right. Yeah, 7. So that's $350 up and $350 down and $350 up and $350 down and $350 up. Of course, you're not going to catch it all. We teach you to trail a stop, and if you trail a stop, you'll always leave a little something on the table. Okay. Now, anyone that has any questions about anything, be sure and type them into the chat box. And if I ever miss a question, all you have to do is copy and paste it back in. If 5-10 minutes go by and I haven't answered the question, ask it again. All right. That's like in Yeti. Take one of those out. Okay. So when you see a yellow line up top and a yellow line down below, that means everything in between is last week's zones. Here's last night's Globex open. We caught a pop off the open, and then we just did this zone to zone back and forth. 3 things happen when price hits a zone. The most probable thing is consolidation. The second most likely is rejection, which is what you see right here on this candle, right here. And a hot knife through butter. This isn't a perfect example. It should be just 1 candle, not 2. But it slices through it like it's not even there. Now, typically, when that happens, price will, like see right here, okay, this one sliced through, hot knife through butter. It comes back to the zone, confirms support if we're moving up, and then it continues onto the zone. Over here, it's pretty rapid fire. And did this start, when was the London Open? London Open was right here. So the London Open took us right up to the zone overhead. Keep in mind these are 30-minute candles. And again, when you see zones between the yellow lines, they're last week's zones. Don't have to turn every one of them yellow. Okay, on the Dow, last night's alerts said to consider being long 24,385. 40 points available. And important prices, important areas are almost always tested. And so the Dow could potentially rally this afternoon. If it doesn't, then we're going to trigger on the short side. And that number's 24,240. Right here. 24,240. That's on the Dow, the YM. $5 per point. S&P is $50 per point. The S&P, it's $12.50 per tick. There's 4 ticks to a point, so it's 50 a point. The Dow is simply $5 a point. No ticks involved. Okay. All right. On the Russell. Last night's alert said to consider being long 1577, up 7 points at $50 a point, $350 per contract available. So whatever the number of contracts that you've earned the right to trade. And by earning the right, I mean you start with, after you pass the simulation test, 10 days, you go live with 1 contract. We want you to increase your balance by $2,000. Then you add a second contract because you earn the money to put on that second contract. And you will earn the money with those 2 contracts to put on your third and your fourth. The 2420 blueprint is designed to take you from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. NQ. All right, last night's alert on the NQ was to consider buying 68.75. 68.75. And again, we have a failure to trigger. Quiet day on the long side. It's very rare that we don't trigger on the S&P and then to see the NQ not trigger either. And let's see, because I did them at 1 a.m., did we have anything on the short side there? Yeah, we actually did. And that was to consider selling 68.10. Now remember, we never want to risk more than $300 per contract on any one trade, because the alert, when you open the email, there's 8 markets, 2 trade ideas per market. That's 16 opportunities. But because important prices and important areas are almost always tested, sometimes, some days we'll see 20, 30, 40 actual triggers. And so if it's not right, if your risk is more than 300, just pass. Another opportunity will come along. We have 3 charts that we look at to find that stop, because the chart has to tell us where to put the stop. To just use some number, okay, well, I'm always going to risk 4 points, or I'm always going to risk 5 points, or I'm always going to risk 6 points. Well, what if the trade only has a profit potential of 3 points? You really going to risk 6 points to get that? That would not. What if you only want 1 contract? Well, if you want to stay with 1 contract, you can stay with 1 contract as long as you want. And for some people, they reach a comfort zone at 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. Everybody's different. And so I always tell people, don't ever feel pressured. Just because you've got the 2420 blueprint, it's time to go on the calendar that tells you what day you should be adding that next contract. Don't ever feel pressured by that. If you are in a groove at 5 contracts, if you take 2 points out of the S&P, 10 ticks out of gold, 10 ticks out of crude, that's $100 per contract per day. If you've earned the right to trade 5, that's $500 a day before commissions, $2,500 a week. Not bad money. Really isn't. For for taking $100 per contract out of these markets per day. Certainly with the volatility of late, there's been no trouble finding those trade opportunities. You have 10 trades at your disposal each and every day to reach your daily goal based on our strategy. And any trades that you don't use today, let's say you reach your daily goal in 4 trades. The 6 you don't use today roll over to tomorrow. So tomorrow when you come in, you have 16 trading opportunities to reach your daily goal. It sounds, and that's based entirely on math. It has nothing to do with us being special. Now, Pa, welcome. I haven't seen you before, or maybe it's the first time you've commented. Is there a particular reason you want to stay with one contract? Because that's going to work out. What sort of a daily goal do you have with that one contract? It's simpler to get 2 points with 10 contracts than it is 2 points with one contract. Or 2 points with 10, 2 points with 10 contracts. Pay $1,000. With one contract, you need 20 points, which is simpler. So, if you can share that with me, just type it in the chat box. And anyone that has any questions about anything, including the webinar last night, type it into the box. I'd be happy to answer it for you. Okay, so the NQ said it considers selling 68.10 in last night's email. Sell 68.10. I needed a new mouse. Sell 68.10. NQ, $20 a point. 4 ticks to a point, $5 per point. And we made it down to 67.97. Oh, so we'll just round that up and call it 68. So we had 10 points at $20 per point, which would work out to be $200 per contract available. But again, we don't get out at the swing high or swing low, because we teach you to trail the stop. You're going to leave a little bit on the table. And please don't confuse this discretionary trading that we do with the alerts with what we do in the live training room every day. That is rules-based trading. They're 2 entirely different worlds. We're happy to teach them both to you if you want, but I think the most important thing is for you to learn the rules-based first. Get it to the point where you could do that in your sleep practically. Then look at the discretionary. Paul says, I like the E-mini. Okay. You can go up to 4 contracts. Yeah. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever works for you, that's what you should do. Not what some book tells you, not what some guy on the radio tells you, some guy on a webinar. I don't care how tall he is, how deep his voice, the swagger in his walk. You do what works for you. NQ coming back down, it looks like, to test this 68.10. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. This is last week's zone, and you see the carryover power of the zone. Runs right up to it, pull him back. Okay. Next would be gold. Burdick says, would you ask if anybody has had trouble with Fork Delta loading up? I have not been able to log on since May 1. I was on there just the other day, Frederick. It does take a while to load. I'm assuming the thing just kept going round and round. Have you've been on the Discord board, right? We have a Discord board. Fork Delta has a Discord board as well. Go to Discord, find, just like you found us, find Fork Delta, and they have a support channel in there, and someone will, chat. They may not be right there waiting for you to type something in, but if you type something in, one of their support people will answer you and let you know what's going on. And you can also, you'll see comments from other traders who are experiencing the same problem. That's what you want to find out. Is it you somehow? Which it probably isn't. It's probably the exchange itself. for those of you that don't know, our channel on Discord is, now because when I log in, because I created the channel, it just takes me there. But here's Fork Delta. If you need help with the Fork Delta platform. Okay, let's go down to the most recent messages. Check it out. I'm going to put the Fork Delta. I'm sure there's a simpler way than this long URL, but you can use that, Frederick, to get in there and talk to somebody. And I'll just send it to everybody so you have it and you can bookmark it. There you go. Okay, we've wandered into the wonderful world of gold here. Gold's fallen on hard times. So say a little prayer. Guys, I'm going to have to take about a 2-minute break here in just a second, so don't go away, don't run off. I will be right back. So if you need to take a break, we won't be much longer. Got to go, but got to finish this up. Last night on gold, the word was to consider buying 13.18 if you had the opportunity. Now, I did not get the alerts out until 1 a.m. today, and so that puts 13.18 over here, no trigger, and on the short side 13.13, and we made it down to 13. What's the swing low? 13.10.60. Is that right? Yeah. So we'll call it 13.11. So you had 2 points, $100 per contract, $200. And we overshot it, by 3 ticks. So if you were trailing your stop, you got some of that. You're very welcome, Frederick. All right, next. This is our gold daily chart. I just bring that up for a point of reference. We broke this important trend line. We've had this resistance on the daily chart going back to January 25th, and then again February 16th, and then again on April 12th. We came back down to this trend line, which goes all the way back to December 12th, 2017. Hit it here, and it broke. It gave us the Trader Vic that we were looking for and took us right down to this area that we expected, and it overshot it just a little bit. On the ES monthly, we're getting dangerously close to that trend line. I still think we're going to pull back to the BBC here. Now, this is a monthly chart. Each candle represents 1 month. So we'll be on this candle for a while, and we'll see what happens. Price will do one of two things. It will pull back to the BBC, or it will break this trend line. And I honestly don't care which one it does, because if it breaks this trend line, we'll just trade it long up into this area. And if it comes back to the BBC, and then we get a positive close the following month, we'll trade it right back up to the CFMA1 and to the most recent swing high. Soybeans last night, we said to consider selling 10.33. Oh, you soybean traders love me today, don't you? Hasn't been a whole lot of love in the soybean world of late. So 10.33. It's going to be right about there. And we put in a low. Now, if you were trailing a tight stop, you could have got taken out in here. 32 down to 30. That would have given you a couple points for the day. But we fell all the way to 10.15 and a half. Now, soybeans pay exactly the same as the S&P, $12.50 a tick, $50 a point. So from 35 down to 15, what is that, 20 points? So that's $1,000 per contract. That's not too bad. $1,000 per contract available. Yep, there we go. Soybeans. And we have rolled forward to ZSN. We're on the N contract. Okay. Oh, I forgot to close John's mic. Sorry about that, John. Okay. There you go. And what do we have left here? Crude. Yep. Crude. Now, I haven't made these yellow yet, but of course these are last week's zones, just like everything else. On Friday, we hit that highest weekly trading zone. Our Concierge Trade Alert on Crude Friday was good for $2,000 per contract. And we hit the highest weekly trading zone. And then we punched through it. There. And that. There. Okay. Now, last night, the alert said to consider buying 70.80. And that was good for a stop out. Right there. The swing high was exactly 70.84. Just enough to take you out of the game. Stop up. And no trigger on the other side. Okay. So that does it for all of those. You know what? We're going to jump to our good word for the day, and then I won't have to take a break, and we'll be done for today. We'll have a full show for you tomorrow. I want to teach you to sing today. Isaiah 30:29 says, "You shall have a song as in the night." Why does the Bible say, "It is good to sing praises to our God"? That's Psalm 14 or 147, verse 1. Because when you express the promises of God's word in song, your faith is strengthened. The Great Depression of the 1930s hit a businessman named J.C. Penney, who you might have heard of, particularly hard, endangering his health. Anxious and desperate because of his huge financial losses, Penney sank so low he felt he had nothing left to live for. Even his family and friends shunned him. In the hospital one night, he grew so demoralized that he expected to die before morning. Waking, he heard singing coming from the hospital chapel. The words of the song were, "Be not dismayed, whate'er betide, God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide, God will take care of you." Entering the chapel, he listened to the song, the scripture reading, and the prayer. He wrote this: "Suddenly something happened. I cannot explain it. I can only call it a miracle. I felt as if I had been instantly lifted out of the darkness of a dungeon into the warm, brilliant sunlight." From that day on, J.C. Penney was never again plagued with worry. Now, if he was still alive, he would be today. He described those moments in the chapel as the most dramatic and glorious 20 minutes of his entire life. When he died at 95, he left behind 1,660 department stores bearing his name. That number's been trimmed, but during his lifetime, he did good. So, you've tried it all. When nothing else works, not even that weekend junket to Vegas, the praises of God set to music can lift you out of a spiritual low. I encourage everyone to spend a few moments every day when you wake up, put on some praise and worship music, something that you like, you enjoy. It really does help to put you in a positive frame of mind for the day. Maybe you listen on your car on the way into work, or as you're getting dressed, taking your shower, whatever the case might be. It does lift the spirit. We have so much to be thankful for. God has been so gracious to us. We can't thank him or praise him enough. So to start the day that way, thanking him, and then say, "Now, what can I do for you today, God?" See what he speaks to you. Try it. I think you'll like it. The Bible says it is good to sing praises to our God. So try it and see for yourself. It works. And you know what? If you're not a great singer, because I'm not, get in your office, get somewhere private in your car, and just let it rip. Because that's the voice God gave you. It's music to his ears. Yeah. Other humans may not like it so much. In fact, when I sing out loud in church, people start moving away. But God likes it. So give it a try. That's our good word for the day. If you need to reach me, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm a couple days behind on email, trying to get everything caught up, and I will endeavor to do my best to get all that done today. Okay? All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, a reminder, Wednesday night will be our first Crypto Portfolio Builder class. If you read that post at emini.cfrn.net, if you watched last night's video from the webinar, if you weren't there, it'll kind of fill you in on what's happening, and I'll talk to you about it when you call. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.